Hey guys, I'm in the process of detaching the engine one more time because of the oil leak in the bottom from the mating plate between engine and transmission. So that's how it is. I've removed a few things. Now I'm removing the front wheels assembly, and tractor is already on the wooden platform. So I thought about it to just removing the oil pan from the bottom and do the repair, but I don't think I have expertise and that much time to wiggle because I know there will be the flywheel that cannot be removed and many things. So it's better for take a longer route, painful, but I think that will help. And since I have already built the expertise to unassemble it, so I'm doing it fast. That's all. Bye. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, the tractor is split in half again. Engine is there, upside down. Rest of the tractor is here. And if you recall, I had a bad this engine was leaking on day one when I started it and drove like 10 foot outside the garage, and I saw the trail of oil leaking, and it was leaking right this area. So, and that was this side of the plate, mounting plate, which separated the engine from the transmission. So it was leaking from the engine side. And if you notice, this hole is the hole which you can drain any oil accumulation in the bell housing for the transmission. I knew it, but somehow I forgot. This one, not this one, this one is the one which basically drain the oil if it's accumulation. So some of the oil went inside when it leaked through the flywheel, the plate opening, and so it made me actually split it. And now what I did is I opened it up. I talked to my machinist also. He's very experienced, so he told me most likely the symptoms were oil pressure was 80 foot-pound psi when I was running on a little higher RPM. Lower RPM it came down to 60, 70, but in normal run, I think 1000 RPM it was above 70, actually off the chart on the oil pressure gauge. So that hinted that oil relief or pressure relief valve inside the oil pump is not functioning. The spring should have activated, and under the pressure above 50 or 60 it should activate it and drain the extra oil flowing towards the engine. It should drain out back into the oil pan, but it did not. So that's what I believe was causing it. So, but that's one thing. Could be a cause of this higher oil pressure, but I'm not ruling out other possibilities. I may have made any mistake or something. So engine is back on the stand. I'm gonna unassemble it. If oil pump was diagnosed was not working, so oil pump is, I give it to my machinist to take a look. I want to reuse if it has any problem, or it can be repaired if he finds any problem with the relief valve. If not, then I'll put it back. And I also, from there, his advice, which I will find out in a few days, if oil pump was the bad one or something else. Based on that, I will proceed and I will unassemble the engine bit by bit. So right now everything is intact except I just remove the oil pan to remove the oil pressure, oil pump from this side. If you see this, these two holes are missing, so my machinist is working on. He will have a chance to look at it. From there on, what I'm thinking is, if he has some doubt, he may find some problem with pump and but he's still not sure, then probably what I will do is I will unassemble the timing cover, remove the pulley, timing cover, and I will also what is this? I will also remove the crankshaft and look at all the general bearings, main bearings, or the bearings we install. I want to make sure all the bearing holes are aligned with the block oil gallery. The reason is, I think I did the right thing. I think I did install properly, but you never know. I did not make video when I was installing, but I was so careful when I was doing it. So I just want to make sure those are not blocked because of the wrong orientation of the bearing, or maybe something else is blocked in the oil path, oil passage inside the engine. So that may be causing the pressure gauge to go up or build a pressure, which basically lead the reason to leak the oil from the main bearing. So I haven't unassembled the main bearing cap yet. Only thing I remove is the oil pan, and then remove the oil pump. From there on, I will go and do the rest of the work. So since the oil pump is in service with my machinist, so I had an opportunity to order the carburetor rebuilding kit. I ordered both. One is the basic one, came with the gasket. So here's the carburetor. I'm unassembling it, and I'm going to clean it up and wash it, put the proper seals, new seals or gasket, and thing I can clean. So when I remove this, okay, I'm having some focus problem here. So if I click here, oops. Alright. So it has some dirt on it, on this pin. Definitely a little dirt can change the carburetor functionality. So I will go ahead and simply do a normal service, unassemble the piece. I do follow a YouTube video where a gentleman is actually rebuilding, doing the service for the Marvel carburetor, and I do notice it has Marvel marking on it, and one side, yeah, right here, I believe it says Marvel Chevrolet. It says Chevrolet here. I don't know what the spelling is. And this side it says, pick it up in the light, and you can see so something. So, and there in the bottom or somewhere there is another number I saw. Yes, right here in the bottom it says 108. So if I hold it correctly, $108,355. Alright, so I believe that's an ID or serial number. So that's what I'm doing, and once my oil pump will come back, I will proceed. Thank you. Bye. Hello everyone. This video is for my Ford tractor carburetor service. I am cleaning and rebuilding the carburetor. Right now it's broken into two pieces. The top piece is this and the bottom piece is this, and these are small components came out of it. I'm going to put it back, but the purpose of this video is to show you what to clean and what to look for. You may find other videos useful also. That's how I learned, but I just want to make a video for my record also, so I will remember what I did. So on this piece, on the top part of this carburetor, so there are passages, fuel and air passages that needs to be cleaned, and they are very tiny holes inside this this circular tube. And if you see inside this circular tube, there is a butterfly valve, which is basically works by this way. This is for the throttle. This is the throttle passage. Air fuel mix. Let me put it somewhere here so it can stay. It can stay like this. So air and fuel mix up and sucks in this way upward towards the manifold. So there are two holes that needs to be cleaned, and I can show you where those are. If you see this in the video, these two holes are the one needs to be cleaned. And how you're going to approach, this is the hole, this is the one, this is the hole you're going to use to clear. If you use the brake clean, okay, so it's not focusing at this moment, so okay, now it's focused. So use this brake clean solution to clear all the cavities and everything. How much you need? You just need one can. I think it's $3-4. It's good enough for the entire carburetor. What I did is I soaked these all parts inside a cup, yogurt cup, overnight, and so brake clean actually removes the paint also, which is okay for me. So you can leave it, rinse it overnight if you can, but most of the time, mostly I cleaned it up this morning. I clear up with the straw on this can. I pressurize the passages and clear it up. I do have I recommend a kit of this. I bought it from Amazon. These are brushes and wires, and these wires, twisted wires, they are in different diameters, and brushes as well. So very important thing is you will find these passages, but very important thing is these passages or holes are machined for a specific diameter, ratio, air fuel mix ratio, and you don't want to widen those holes or tubes or passages. You want to use the precise one, the wire, the thinner one, the thicker one, different diameter goes for different holes. So start with the very smaller one if you can reach. Some are not straight, so you have to use this pressurized brake clean to clear up the path. So on this one, this is the incoming. Basically fuel comes from this side and goes inside this larger hole where the plunger basically stops the entry of the fuel with the floats. But from here, those two holes are important, which basically with this smaller one will lead those holes inside this passage. So this is it. So that's how you're going to clean, and there are some passages you can access from here. Use the brake clean, pressurize, and you'll see it. Use a flashlight to see the light where it goes. So this is one part. The other one is, this is important, this one has multiple holes. Let me put it this way So this one has this 3 2 3 2. That's a combination, and there's on the far side of close to the thread. This is one. So one side is 4, then 2, then 4, then 2. So these needs to be clean. So pressurize this tube, block this side, pump, feed the rig clean from this side. It should come out from all those 4 and 3 holes. This one is kind of more strange. Some videos doesn't show, but there are some important holes or passages that needs to be clean. Bottom of this tub or fuel container, there are 2 holes. I'm trying to show you in a better light situation, which I don't have. So let me put this back here and put this here. Okay, so I'm going to use my flashlight to show you what can be seen. So I will show you. So if you see this light is coming out right in the bottom, tiny hole. Okay, this side and this side also. Okay, so I can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it. So this light, if you see these holes, so flashlight light is coming in. So there are 3 holes in the bottom, right here, here, one on each side, one on each side, this side, and inside this one. And all 3 actually connect from a access port which is located. So I'm going to turn off my flashlight. So this is the hole where all 3 will meet. How you can clean it? Use this one of the brush and wire. So you can see, if you see this here, all 3 holes from this side meets, and also especially these 2 holes, from the top, they also meet in the same place. So this one is very important one, which has a brass opening, and this is the tiniest hole. So you cannot use a brush, you have to use a wire. And this one, luckily I have this wire, the tiniest one I have, or the tiniest mean thinner one, I was able to slide it, but I did not rub it or grind it. I was just making sure the passage is open and I can see the light. That's all I did. There used to be in the bottom of this used to be some debris or dirt, so you have to clean up all those dirt. Let me show you one thing if I can. This is very important here, and no one will notice until so if you see this now, I think now you can see lights on both sides. This, you can see this side, you can see this side, and there's another one, I think somehow. So anyway, there are 3 holes that needs to be clear with precisely using the brush, the right size of the brush and the wire, and that's all. I'm going to put it back now. This carburetor has a number marking, it says 10010A355, if you can see. Other than that, it's straightforward, and that's all I have. I'm gonna put a new gasket, and whatever I have in the kit, I'm gonna use it. However, I have one concern is, if you see this tip, this is the pointed part, works with the float to shut off the incoming fuel. This tip seems like rubber tip, this pointed tip, and it's tilted. Actually, it looks like it's coming out, so maybe I need to shove it back somehow, or I will see if it comes in my kit so I can replace it. So this is, I have, anyway, this one is this, and what I did not find any spring for this float. And most of the videos I found, they are, when they are unassembling it, they have a this spring which goes on this part of the float, and I don't have, so I'm not sure if this is the particular model doesn't come with this spring. So I'll see how it goes. Bye. Hello everyone. Engine is back on the hoist. Engine stand from the hoist. So just want to make a video. When you are in trouble, in the same situation I am, then that means you don't want to remove the head, and you want to work on the engine block, the bottom part, and you want to remove it from the rest of the tractor. What you need to do is, you need to have mounting places where you can tie your chain or bracket. The bracket I bought it based on the manual says use this bracket kind of, but I don't think this bracket from O'Reilly Auto Part for 13 bucks worked for me, because none of the hole align with these rocker arm assembly orange bolts, and even it aligned, I would not install it, because this 1 and 2, these are aluminum made. I don't think these are like steel or iron, so it's gonna break it easy. That's my guess. Even the manual says attach here. So I did again consulted with my very experienced machinist, and he advised me, yes, you can use 2 bolts, attach it, since you don't have. So I mean, I think he was agreed with me that I don't have anything where I can attach. I don't want to use anything inside of the head, like these bolts, because if I tie chain, it's going to bind with these rocker arm assembly, and it's going to scratch or twist or turn. So these are the corner bolts I decided to use. They were like 65 to 70 foot-pound torque. So I decided to attach here and here, use the chain with my hoist, Harbor Freight engine stand. So that's how I tied, remove it. But I made a mistake. I did not make this mistake when I was working initially and trying to disassemble the engine and removing from the rest of the tractor. Was I supposed to not to tie the chain in the center? It should be the front chain part should be shorter than the back side, the rear side. So it will be, the engine face will be tilted up the front will be a little tilted up, not the level. The reason is it will be easier for an engine hoist to lift and keep the angle slightly sloped slightly backward of the tractor, so it can slide out from the transmission shaft. So it will be easier instead of nose dive, or so it can actually break the shaft. That's why I made this, it's supposed to be, and I made this mistake, but it was too late because once it's lifted up, I could not drop it back. And so that was I was at a point of no return kind of. So keep in mind when you do it this way. So make it shorter. So I'm going to slide this chain. Now it doesn't help at this moment. So now you can see front is shorter and rear is longer, so it will be lifted more from the front side than back, so it will give you a kind of an angle. So that was the lesson learned. But anyway, now it's on the engine mount, and from here I will take care of it. Also, I noticed when I was assembling, if you see this little bit, so the welding on the engine block is basically those are the pinholes I was talking about in other video. That weld is good enough, but it's not really super seal tight, so coolant will leak, and that's what it is. But it's a small amount, so I think I'll live with it. Other than that, this is what it is, and that's all. Bye.